This is the big time. We have the Showtime FMX team who are about to jump over me, and everyone's trying to take great selfies here at Clipsal 500. I want to get the greatest selfie. Don't worry about your photos with Wing Cup or your photos with Grid Girls. It's all about this photo right here. Oh my God, oh my God. All right, I'll show you the best photo. Oh, sick. Not what I was hoping for. What a great shot of the Adelaide skyline. Yeah, nailed that one. Yeah.
Lucky you didn't get a motorbike haircut after that. Sam Mack out and about at the Clipsal 500. You know, the Touring Car Masters are the great names and great cars of yesteryear. Think of the likes of John Bowe, Glenn Seaton, Jimmy Richards. They're all competing in this fantastic competition. It's their third and final race of the weekend. And on the way to that race, let's check in with the winner of race 2, who's with Kylie King. It's Cameron Mason.
The Touring Car Masters is a fresh new face, a race winner in race 2, and the first time for yourself, Cameron Mason. That must have been an awesome feeling.
Yeah, awesome's a word. It was fantastic. So to be against some of the competition that we're up against in our little car, to be able to drive away with it was great. Yeah.
What are we expecting in this next one?
Hopefully more of the same. There was a lot of carnage in the last one behind me. It was good to keep out of trouble in that regard. So if everyone can keep it tidy, we should have a good race, but we've definitely got a good car for it, so we'll see how we go. How
does it feel beating some of those established drivers out there? We've heard them, the Bowes, the Richards, the Middicky. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, heroes of mine growing up, and it's a massive experience just to be able to drive against them, let alone sort of win a race against them. It's great. So hopefully we can keep doing it. Yeah.
Thanks to Kylie King in the paddock there as we take a look at your grid for NZ Touring Car Masters. Race through the weekend, a combination of the points. Overall from the weekend sees Andrew Middicky and Gavin Bullis on the front row. Cameron Tilley and Eddie Abel-Neeson will start on the second row. Keith Kasulki and Jim Richards will start out of 6. Brad Tilley and Mark King out of 7 and 8. Over the page to Mason and Freestone out of 11 and 12. Bowe and Seaton from 13 and 14. Hunter and Tobin off row 8. Mercer and Keane over the page to McMahon and Palmer. Fisher and Stewart. Nigel Benson and Rowan Little, and Rory O'Neill will start from the back of the field for this race number 3. So the cars on the formation lap on the streets of Adelaide for the final race of the weekend in the NZ Touring Car Masters. Plenty of fans watching on, ready for this, taking a trip down memory lane or just wanting to feel the rumble. These awesome cars. Greg Cricker on board now in the Mopar Performance Charger. Cricky starting back in 10th position. Glenn Seaton carrying one of our onboard cameras. Joining his spot there alongside John Bowe for this one in the rows of 2, heading up to the Adelaide hairpin and getting set for the final race of the weekend. 10 laps, just a whisker over. 32 kilometres as they come up to the line to accept the green flag on the streets of Adelaide. And we're underway, final race of the NZ Touring Car Masters on the streets of Adelaide. Got cars going 4 wide further back in the field, and this is what we saw yesterday. A couple of cars heading towards the inside of the centre chicane. But looks like everyone is through on lap number 1. The run up to the top of Wakefield Street. Much more sedate start than what we saw yesterday. John Bowe trying to go through already on Mark King to jump on board the Mopar of Greg Crick as he works his way through. And the run, this is where he spun yesterday trying to get past Gavin Bullis. Speaking of Bullis, there he is. He's got Cameron Tilley, who finished 2nd yesterday. But your leader, Andrew Middicky, the Lubrimax entry, heading down to turn 8 past this high-speed section of the circuit. And the run down to turn 9 on lap number 1. As Stephen Johnson joins me just in time for Greg Crick to make it past the bottom.
Thanks, Matty. Been a bit hectic this morning.
Busy times for you guys. Great to have you along.
For everybody, yes. It's been a bit of a crazy morning, so let's hope that these guys can have a nice clean race today, unlike yesterday where we saw quite a bit of damage. some of the front runners of this championship.
Good news is, though, that all 3 cars made it back out into this
big
one.
lock-up from...
Is that Cricky again locking up the brakes?
It was Cricky, actually, right front for Cricky.
And John Bow, they've repaired Mustang Sally. Going to create some more hits here this weekend, heading down this Barry Sheen pit straight, chasing Mark King. Behind him is Paul Freestone, the Freestone's Transport and Freestone's Roadhouse, the old-style diner he's got down there on the Great Ocean Road entry. The run to Wakefield Street.
There's another lock-up.
Is that going off the racetrack at the top of Wakefield Streets?
Just heard another lock-up there. You could hear it in. Another one again from Seaton. Freestone gets tagged.
And that'll be Telly that's done the job on him, and he's right in the middle and hoping and praying that no one centre punches the Freestone car. Lucky to get away with that. You brought all the action with you.
Here we go, on board with Seaton. 3rd gear, up to top gear. 4 gears in these cars. You can see Bow in front of him. Fast down the straight on the inside. No.
Love the sound. The onboard cameras, they really are throaty, these Touring Car Masters cars.
Around, Tilly up the inside of Kasuki. Can he get it done? Yes. Kasuki using all the road on the way out.
It's almost like a tank, Kasuki's car, isn't it, to get it manoeuvred around there. As Crick fancies a shot on the inside of Jim Richards. Look over the shoulder.
Yeah, he might have a look up the inside here. He does.
Nice pass.
Nice shot of the roof. Does a good job there. You can see him setting himself up there really quick through turn 13, setting himself up for a great inside pass. You got to sit there for a little bit and wait to see if the guy in front of you is going to block or not. And Jimmy obviously made the door quite wide, and Crick was able to go through. Now Bow monstering the back of Yulden with Seaton right behind him. King not far behind. Massive bumps up the end of Wakefield Street here. Bow is just all over the back of Yulden. Yulden's still sporting some damage from yesterday. You'll see the back bar of that car pushed in a little bit.
So this is what happened on the preceding lap. And Freestone, gee, I reckon Tilly might be in trouble here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Tony Hunter almost gave the Freestone's Roadhaven entry a little short back and sides. We pick up the leaders, heading down to turn 9. There is your leaderboard. Miedeke from Bullis, Abel Nisa, Tilly, and Keith Kasuki. Your leaderboard at the moment looking over to Crick, Richards, and down to Seaton in 10th. Working lap 6 around the streets of Adelaide, and Andrew Miedeke continues to lead, but this is a brilliant battle between Crick, Kasuki, Bow, and Richards. And now
Tilly's gone. Can he pull it up? No. That's a massive move. That's huge. Kasuki says thank you very much.
He's not going to get the job done there.
Cricky won't be happy with that.
No, he won't. Just imagine what he'll be like under the visor of the Mopar Charger as they hit Perry Street and the run down to turn 7.
Just playing for sheep stations today. That was a massive move by Tilly after Cricky did a good move on him into turn 1.
If Jimmy Richards' car is not sorted yet, keep in mind it's only had 8 test days in the lead-in to this weekend at Sandown. It's going to be an absolute bullet by the time he gets to the next round at Simmons Plains at the end of March down there in Tasmania.
Crick up the inside of Kasuki again. Oh, you can just hear it there chattering the rear wheels under brakes. Pulls it up again. He's got to do it all over again with Tilly now.
Look at Bow. After starting from 14th, Bow is up to 7th. And Richards in 8th. Those guys started on the 7th row of this race. Keep in mind, it was a culmination of the points from the first 2 races leading into this weekend.
Oh, he has a look at Kasuki there. Just closes the door. Half closes the door to mid-track just to make it a little bit more difficult for John Bow. There's the replay. Tilly up the inside. Very close. I may have even touched there.
It's almost like Crick could see it coming. He gave him a little bit more racing room.
You can see him here. Cricky's actually blocking, but Tilly is right up hard on that yellow line on the inside, which does define the track. And it's just absolutely chaos from there on.
And still it continues. Now John Bowers on the back of Keith Kasuki. This is the car that Glenn Seaton won his first TCM race at Bathurst a couple of years ago. And now Bow, not too many people get away with it down there. We saw Crick try to do the same thing to Bullis there yesterday. And found out the hard way what turn 7 at Perry Street can be like.
By doing that, you can see Bowie there just trying to get some clean air out. Being stuck behind these cars really heats the engine, heats the brakes up, just trying to get some clean air and kill those brakes down so he can have a shot at Kasuki under brakes here. I think he's too far back to do it. He's going to have to get a better run out of turn 7. And Seaton up the outside of Yilden here. Not really a place you want to be, but Yilden was on the inside, so it gave Seaton no choice but to go down the outside. Back into second gear, over the curb. Hard on the throttle, back up to third gear. He'll leave it in third gear right round to the last corner here. Bow up the inside. He's close.
Not this time. The door's about to shut.
He shuts the door half. That's great racing. You know, you see those guys, some of those guys, they'll take their line as if nobody's there, and that's where you see a collision. Kasuki realised that JB was having a half look up the inside, didn't fully commit to the corner, but didn't make it easy for him either. Great racing.
Lap 8. There is your leaderboard. Some of the fastest laps we've got of this race so far.
Watch for that Mustang up the inside here. He's close. Still can't get the job done, can he? Jimmy Rich is right there to capitalise.
And still the replays continue. This is further back in the field. So big Kerry McMahon. Oh, he's just had this car rebuilt after an incident in New Zealand a few weeks ago. And this will be heartbreak for the team because pretty much everything on that car's been replaced. He debuted in this beautiful green colour. We've got a wheel on the track now that this may bring out a safety car. It's right in the middle of the turn down there. That's turn 11.
You can actually see there is no centre inside that wheel rim. So it hasn't ripped the suspension off. It's actually broken the wheel and the wheels come and drift to the car. There's a double waved yellow there, which is double caution. There's no safety car out yet.
Oh, it's right in the middle though, isn't it? Abel Nisa just narrowly misses it. This is the battle pack for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th starting to come through.
It's actually not on line. If you see these guys, if you take your normal line, it's middle of the road. So if everybody comes around that corner and takes that normal line, they'll miss it.
So that's happened before it got there. Wheel in the background there. Like I said, this car suffered a big impact over at Highlands Park Raceway in New Zealand. They have called a safety car. On lap 9, so that's going to slow the field down on board with Seaton. Just when it was starting to heat, it was hot already. This is starting to get a little bit hotter towards the end of this race. And now the field will slow it down.
Wonder if we're going to get a one-lap sprint to the finish here. These two guys had cleared out in front by a long, long way, by 11 seconds. That's all going to be gone now. But it may be too little too late for the guys behind. This may end under safety car. We'll have to wait and see how quickly they can get this cleaned up.
If it stays the way it is right now, Andrew Midicke will win the weekend and the Adelaide Tourist Trophy. That's what they're racing for this weekend as part of the NZ Touring Car Masters opening round. And should see information what you see right now. Bullis will end up 2nd and Abel Nisa will be 3rd at this point in time. As the field begins to bunch up here. Much cooler conditions today, isn't it, out there to what we saw yesterday?
It is. It's much cooler, much easier for the cars and the drivers, might add. But, you know, these short races, these short 10-lap races, they really don't struggle that much behind the wheel. The cars certainly would feel a little difference, but driver-wise, as we can see here, the safety car has come out, but half a lap behind, and you can see them there waving the guys past, trying to find the leader. These guys, although they're going past the safety car, they are not allowed to pass each other, as it's a full course caution, full course yellow.
It's always a nerve-wracking time because you don't know whether to do it until that hand comes out the top. And they've got to chase these guys, which are right down in the centre chicane as our hard-working officials. Yeah, that'd be hot work.
Yep.
I think he realised that about 3 seconds after he grabbed it. Massive amount of temperature in these wheels and tyres.
All right, they've got that off the track now. We'll see. They're going to have to wait for Midicke and Bullis and all these front runners to form up behind that safety car before they can get a restart. And it is the final lap, so I would imagine this will finish under caution. Bang.
Just enough of a hit, but I think the damage had already been done before he got to turn 11.
You watch him here. He goes in, the rear steps away, has a little bit of a slide. He overcorrects it and fires it straight into the end of that rubber belted tyre wall there. and just basically shatters the inside of that rim, pulls it straight away from the car. You'll find the other part of the rim will still be bolted onto the front end of that Tirana.
It's a tough break for Kerry McMahon, so he's out of the race, and we're under safety car on the final lap on the Adelaide Street Circuit. So the order will stay as you see it now. Midiki from Bullis, Abel Nisa, Tilly and Greg Crick, who got up to 5th position. Big shout out to Bow and Richards, who got to 7th and 8th in all of that. In a car, the one in John Bow's car we're talking about, you'll be driving the next round in Simmons Plain.
Absolutely, I'll take over the reins from JB down at Simmons. He's away on a Dunlop Super Dealer conference, sponsor conference, which is, well, good luck for me, hard luck for him, but he's going to be in Fiji, so I think he's got the better end of the deal. But, you know, a big, you know, I'm very impressed with, I guess, the calibre of driving today. There was some really good moves, top moves, Tilly especially, you know. Anyone in general, when you got some faster cars behind, like Greg Crick comes past you, they'll end up not so much giving it up, but pretty much holding it their station. Tilly had another crack, got back in front of him, and he's been rewarded with a top 4 spot. Great stuff.
So safety car will come in, and Midiki will lead him to the finish line here and take out his 2nd race of the weekend and the round on the streets of Adelaide in the NZ Touring Car Masters. Bullis will be 2nd. We're going back to a sprint by the look of it.
You don't need to run off the track, boys. It's all good.
So they're giving us 1 lap.
Oh, there is 1 lap to go.
We were looking at a final lap then on our screen, so we've got a lap to sort this out, boys. This is good stuff.
Now let's see how desperate these guys are to get up a spot or 2.
So it's not over yet. Abel Nisa is going on the back of Bullis, so a 1-lap screamer around this 3.2-kilometre circuit.
I've got a feeling here Albanese is looking very racy. Bullis got a bad run onto the back straight there, very sideways. And that XB Cooper's got serious mumbo down the straight, and it's great on the brakes. So let's see what he can do here with Bullis. He's a little bit far back at the moment. Bow's a little bit far back from Kasuki too. Will he have a go though? He's having a look. He's going to have a look.
Oh yeah, he likes it. Kasuki, minimal room.
Up on the inside curb. Can he get the power down? Kasuki's still on his left. He's got the line for the next corner. Bow concedes. Now let's have a look what happens at the last corner. Madeki, very good on old tyres and cool tyres. Very good on the restarts. Here we go. Look in the background. Kasuki makes it hard for Bow.
And nonetheless, he will hold on, and this time takes the checkered flag and grabs the round win in the NZ Touring Car Masters in Adelaide. Bow didn't get past Kasuki in the end. And Midiki, what a weekend to celebrate his 21st year with the White Line Transport team. Gavin Bullis go home for 2nd, and Abel Nisa in 3rd position. On 2 races, we had safety cars this weekend as we take a look at your results here. Midiki, the winner from Bullis. Abel Nisa in 3rd. Tilly in 4th. Back to Crick, Kasuki, Bow, Jim Richards, Brett Yilden, and Glenn Seaton gets in for the top 10 in the NZ Touring Car Masters.
That means our next race of the day will be the final race of the Clipsal 500, race 3 of the championship. James Courtney to start on pole. On the way to the break, we'll check in with Mark Larkham celebrating Armour All's 10 years of involvement in the V8 Supercars Championship.
Now for our 3rd memorable moment, brought to you by Armour All, I'm going to stick with the theme of 2005-2006, and I want to have a look at 2006 Bathurst. Now this was a particularly sad time for us all, where we'd lost just 1 month to the day prior to the Bathurst 1000 that year, our dear friend Peter Brock in Targa West in that terrible rally incident. But 1 month later, Craig Lowndes, who was his protege, his friend, Peter was his mentor, went to Bathurst. He had Rick Kelly chase him down all day there, and he had tears in his eyes on the last lap as he went on to win this race under a great emotional stress. This, for me, was one of the most memorable things to happen in our game. The Peter Brock Trophy was born out of Peter Brock's sad loss, and Craig, of course, what a befitting winner for that trophy. In fact, they restored that car and it's at the Bathurst Museum now on display. So look, tune in for RPM for more of our memorable moments and to win some great Armour All prizes this coming Sunday.